Hi everyone, Sean here from Lines and Wax back at you with another discography ranking because ranking things is fun and I like talking shit about music because that's the way it goes. I'm a YouTuber now, ma'am. Look at me. Are you proud of me yet? Anyway, today it marks nearly 6 months since I did my Sabbath ranking video, and I do kind of want to stay away from like the bigger bands, but like 72 Seasons Not Long dropped by Metallica, and it's not often that Metallica drops a fucking record, is it? It's like, it's a big thing. Everybody stops and everybody listens. And I go, fuck what you say. You do. Everyone that's into metal in some way, shape, or form has probably checked out or at least heard a snippet of a song from 72 Seasons. But doesn't mean it was very good, does it? It did, like I said, remind me that, yeah, you know what? I'll do a Metallica ranking. Fuck it. Even though I don't really want to cover bigger bands. You did the Sabbath one for Christmas time. So, like, now it's summertime and I'm probably going to be away for a few weeks. I've put a nice, easy one up, tied over to time, and I can get into some other discographies and retrospectives when I get back. So without further ado, I'm going to rank 15 Metallica records. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're all canonical studio albums. For instance, there's going to be the Lou Reed thing that's going to be in here. I'm also going to rank some of their live albums and their covers album as well. The covers album I know was like a compilation of the earlier or expansion of an earlier EP. I know, but like you can get it as like in most record stores you will get like their covers album, right? It's there. When we were kids, we had all the Metallica albums. The covers album was in there. So same with the live albums. So I've got the main live albums, not the ones that are tied to like the films or, and Metallica released fucking hundreds of like rips from their concerts on their website. Of course, I'm not going to be involved in those. So I'm just going to involve 15 Metallica records. And I'm going to do it from memory, as in I'm not going to look at fucking Discogs or anything like that for like facts on tracks and songs and fucking lineups and all this shit. I'm literally just going to go, these are the albums that I like in this order. Metallica, worst to best. Let's get stuck in. In 15th place then, Metallica's worst album. What could it possibly be? Of course it's fucking Lulu with Lou Reed. I love Metallica to a degree, and I love Lou Reed to a degree, and I love pointless, overblown, artsy-fartsy bullshit to a degree, but fucking Lulu, man, like, I own this. I actually own it. Like, it is such a fucking oddity that I had to have a copy of it because it's just so fucking bizarre. This is honestly one of the fucking strangest things that's ever happened in the history of fucking mainstream fucking metal and rock. It's just bad. It just didn't work. Whatever they were trying to do, and I don't think I still really know what they were trying to do after multiple listens. I was listening to it online and stuff, and it's not on Spotify for whatever reason. So like you have to listen to like YouTube rips of it, and the quality was garbage. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking buy this thing, and I'm gonna get to the fucking bottom of whatever the fuck was going on here. And I bought it, and I listened to it quite a lot, both fucking discs, because I'm a fucking glutton for punishment. And I've really tried to understand, because Lou Reed's done a lot of fucking avant-garde shit as well as his like folky and more poppy rock stuff. He's done like the like long form guitar, ambient guitar pieces, and he's done obviously stuff like Metal Machine music, if that's what it's called, I forget, like the proto fucking noise record that he did. So like, I'm open to the weird shit, as watchers of this channel will know, right? But whatever the fuck they were trying to do, just failed. This is so bad that it borders on hilarious. You've got overcompressed fucking bad Metallica B-sides with an old man just rambling over the top of them. Or should I cut my tits off? No, mate, you shouldn't. It's fucking so shit. It is so shit that it actually, I can't really describe how bad it is because it is so fucking bad. So, like, if you've never heard this thing, by some miracle, because I've sat through this like 40 times, you have to go and sit through it. Go and listen to this. Lulu by Metallica and Lou Reed. It is one of the worst things I have ever heard in the history of music, and I've heard some bad shit in my time. Anyway, let's move on, because this video isn't about fucking Lulu, it's about Metallica's entire discography. In 14th place, their second worst record has to be Reload, because it is an album full of leftover songs from the Load era, and Oh, it's just Jesus wept. It's just so boring. There's a couple of good singles. Obviously, this spawned the singles Memory Remains and fucking Fuel, right? Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that. But it's just fuck me, like what fucking drugs? But they weren't on drugs. They were just jacked up on Jack and Coke, right? Yeah, the American way. But yeah, Reload is bad. The quality here, the quality control was out of the fucking window. This was awful. A lot of the songs on here just go nowhere. They're just so boring. It's just the laziest fucking album they've ever done. Ever. And it sucks. And it doesn't even really sound like metal. Even though they're Metallica and they can do what the fuck they want. This was shit. Lulu was fucking just bizarre. Like a fucking fever dream. Reload is just crap. Honestly, it's crap. 13th place, Garage Inc. This is their covers album. Yeah, you got some good covers. But as a rule, this is pretty uninspired. It's cool to see them do stuff like Whiskey in the Jar, like the Misfits songs. Like the cover of fucking, what's that song, the Anti-Nowhere League? My mate's dad has an Anti-Nowhere League tattoo on his arm, and it kind of just faded with time. And now it looks like a toaster. Like the Anti-Nowhere League fist with the chain and spikes around it on his arm, and maybe 30 years later, it now looks like a fucking toaster. That's an Anti-Nowhere League fact for you. I'm from the UK, so I see the Anti-Nowhere League floating around quite a lot. They tour relentlessly, or did, in really small like local venues and stuff, so I've never actually seen them, but they're always around, the Anti-Nowhere League, so it's cool to see a band like that kind of size being repped by a band like Metallica. You can obviously blame a lot of Misfits fandoms, of people being introduced to the Misfits by Metallica from the covering of Green Hell, Die Die My Darling, and Last Caress. Obviously, the guys in Metallica, huge Misfits fans. Like Cliff Burton was a huge Misfits fan. So was James Hetfield. Like James Hetfield does backing vocals on some of the Samhain stuff. That second like Danzig project between Misfits and Danzig the band. There was Samhain, which I don't really know much all about. But there's that one song that a fucking James Hetfield did backing vocals on for them. So yeah, they're obviously big fans of the Misfits, and it's cool. But most of these covers are shit, to be honest. And this just drags. I think it's a double album. Is it a double album? Either way, it's not very good. It's too long. And this is a recurring motif with Metallica. It's too long. It goes nowhere. It's boring. In 12th place is S&M 2, the live album they did, 2 or 3 years ago, which was basically a rehash of S&M 1. Only nowhere near as good. The band are older. They sound worse. The mix is shit. This is rubbish. There's a really interesting take on the St. Angus song, All Within My Hands, which is like a song which is such a deep cut for Metallica to perform live in any fucking capacity. Is just bizarre that they would rework it as well into something else and turn it into a whole new beast. And so that is really interesting, and that's why I've given S&M 2 a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt, and I've put it higher than the other two, or three rather, because it is interesting, and the orchestral elements, obviously it's a full band, full orchestra here. I don't want to shit on the talent of that orchestra. Really adds a whole new dynamic, of course, to the whole sound. But S&M 2 was, in a word, pointless. Let's just be honest. In 11th place is Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I return to the fresh sound of old, the press cried as the Metallica released this album. I find it really funny. Someone told me, I don't know how true this is, but somebody told me that the original album of this, so original album's worth of riffs, was recorded on Kirk Hammett's iPhone, and he lost his iPhone, and they lost the entire original album in demo form or whatever. So they just wrote another one. But you know how prolific they can be when they want to be, that they wrote a fucking double album. Hardwired to Self-Destruct. Not a bad album, as in like the individual elements or individual songs aren't particularly that bad. I don't really have any standout songs, but again, it's too fucking long. It's too long. And I love Swans. Swans are my favourite band, so I have no problem with long songs. But Metallica don't need to be doing 8, 9, 10-minute songs. They don't need to be doing double albums. You literally Pro Tools in like a 4-minute song into an 8 or 9-minute song. Copy paste. Pointless. Don't fucking do it. Why are you doing it? I don't understand. And that's what Hardwire Hardwired Falls. It is so boring. Like, the elements are there. Everything is there in the right places. The production is arguably a little bit loud, but it's just too long. Rein it in. It's too long. Number 10, Death Magnetic. A little bit better. I prefer the songs on Death Magnetic, but again, too fucking long. Like the Day That Never Comes, is it? Was a song. I used to call that the song that never ends, because it never fucking ends. Like, there is no need for it to be that long. And this album, this video is just turning into a Metallica rant, really, isn't it? But there's no need for it to be that long. It is so long. And the production on this by Rick Rubin, I'm going to say it. I'm going to put Rick Rubin on blast. Like, this guy is fucking overrated as fuck. I know he's made some, like, he's produced some legendary records in the past. But Rick Rubin lost it, man. At some point. I don't know when, but he fucking lost it. You hear so many people saying, like, he wasn't even there half the time during the album creation. I know Slayer, I think, had problems with Rick Rubin. The guys in American Head Charge, they had issues with Rick Rubin. I want to say System of a Down. Don't know. And Slipknot. I can't remember if Slipknot put Rick Rubin on blast. But, yeah, Rick Rubin, like, someone's got to call this guy out. He's not as fucking good as he thinks he is. This production, if he even produced it, if he was even in the room, I don't know what the deal is. It is rubbish. It is so fucking overcompressed and just blown out. It's like this permanently in your face, especially the drums. It's like the snare drum is like every single time. It's unnecessarily just loud as fuck. It is the loudness war personified, but like, you know, it's loud at the production, you know, level, not even the mastering level. So, like, I don't know what the fuck went on with this, but it is so loud and blown out that it's just completely unlistenable trash. But the songs are pretty good in comparison to Hardwired, and definitely in comparison to Lulu and Reload. In 9th place is S&M, the original S&M, another fairly pointless outing, but at least at the time, you know, it was something new and something different. So Metallica, at the end of like the 90s, did S&M. They did all their classics with a full orchestra. Really kind of worked quite well the first time round. And I love, again, the orchestral elements are really phenomenal. And they even did like, you know, some new songs with the orchestra at this point. Really, really, really well done. Really good idea. I just don't really love the production that much. It sounds a bit flat, especially the band stuff sounds a bit flat. Like the guitar, bass, drums elements, but everything else sounds pretty good. And Summer James's vocals are a bit wishy-washy on this as well. But all in all, it's way, way, way better than S&M 2. And, you know, it's worth your time if you fancy, like, I wonder what Metallica would sound like if they were basically Dimmu Borgir, and you get that on S&M. In 8th place, then, is the new album, this year's album, 72 Seasons. Probably the best thing the band has done since, like, the early 2000s. Like, out of all these new albums, dare I say new, some of them are fucking, like, you know, teenagers now. You know, Death Magnetic, Hardwired, Lulu, S&M 2, none of them compare. 72 Seasons is more solid than those. And it even has a few short tracks, which is great. It really is great. Like, stuff like Lux Eterna and that, it's just like, yes, Metallica, you can do a 4-minute song and it sounds fucking amazing. My complaint about 72 Seasons is that it sounds a bit overproduced. I think there's auto-tune involved. Like, you know, as a somebody who owns IEMs, and I'm an audiophile, I tend to, like, really analyze things maybe a bit too much, and I'm almost certain there's auto-tune at play. Lars Ulrich's drums sound quantized, but I don't know if they are. There's definitely triggering involved, which is not a problem. I don't dislike triggers, but, you know, it sounds like they're using studio techniques to kind of hold and glue their stuff together, because they are slowly losing what they've got. And yeah, to be fair, these guys are getting on now. They're in their late 50s, aren't they, you know? So, you know, all the power to them. And the fact that they're in their 50s, throwing out fucking albums of this quality, you know, and don't get me wrong, no matter what I fucking say, people are going to eat up 72 Seasons like it was fucking feeding time at the zoo, right? So, you know, my opinion don't mean shit, you know, realistically. But, you know, it definitely sounds like they're using studio, what's that fucking phrase? A Visit from the Night Doctor or whatever it is, when everything gets redone in the studio when the band aren't there. I don't think that's happened. Dr. Midnight, A Visit from Dr. Midnight. But I don't think that's what's happened here. I just think, like, there's been some machine learning gone on. The machines are massaging the sound a bit here, definitely. There's no way Metallica sound this clean and tidy at their age. You know, Lars is getting old, so's James, everyone is. Another thing I would say, and it's more of an observation and what I would do if I was the engineer, which I'm not, so I should shut the fuck up, is I would make Rob Trujillo louder, because Rob Trujillo, like, how good is Rob Trujillo as a player, right? He's fucking wasted in Metallica, let's be honest. Turn the motherfucker up a bit this year and play that fucking bass. Make some of these longer songs a little bit more bearable. Get Rob Trujillo. I'd love to, like, you know, you see people doing those alternative mix of, like And Justice for All and stuff. You know, it would be cool if they could do that for 72 seasons. Put some fucking bass back in there, guys. Lovely job. That'll sort it out. Number 7, Load. Load is kind of hated, more or less, and it's kind of thrown into the same boat as Reload. But personally, I don't think that it's anywhere near as bad as Reload. Load, again, considering the the nature of this, like, you know, if you think of Metallica's trajectory, even by the time they did the Black Album, they were doing stuff that was far more commercially accessible than the stuff they'd done in the 80s. But when Load came out, that must have been a shock for everybody. It was a fucking shock for me when I bought it, and I was in 2003, 2004. So when Load came out and people went out and bought this and looked at the back, and they've all got short hair and sunglasses and they're smoking cigars and all this fucking stuff, and then you turn it on and it's "In my bitch." You know, it must have been a hell of a fucking shock, really. But it's grown on me. I think the first half of this record, like the first 7 songs, I really liked them all. I probably shouldn't, because some of them are actually pretty bad, but I do like them all. I could probably listen to Load from start to finish and not hate it. It doesn't need to be as long as it is. It's got to be like 70 minutes plus. This is Metallica. Every fucking album they do, at least, you know, from the 90s onwards, is so fucking long. And, you know, this is no exception. But Load, I have a soft spot for, you know. And the name really takes on a whole new meaning when you realise what's on the album cover. It's blood and sperm, I think, isn't it, mixed together? So you get Load on the album cover. Yeah, it's called Load. The album is called Sperm. It's called CUM. Fucking hell, I need a drink. I don't drink. Anyway, there's a whole thing about this album that the artist who did that cover did the video for Godflesh's Crush My Soul. And according to Justin Broderick from Godflesh, he introduced Kirk Hammett to this artist. And I think Justin maybe felt a bit snubbed when they worked together, like, you know, and didn't really acknowledge that link and the introduction and everything had been made between Godflesh and the artist. Is it Andre Serrano? I want to say, I don't know, because I'm not looking at any liner notes, so I could be wrong. But yeah, the artist that did this cover and the cover for Reload did the Crush My Soul video for Godflesh, which also included a lot of animal blood, to be honest. But there we go. Must have been something in the water at the time. And number 6 then is Metallica, self-titled, more commonly known as the Black Album. Again, it's not my favourite Metallica record, and not something I would ever really choose to listen to, especially these days. But, you know, I used to hate this. I used to hate the production on it. It sounded so, like, far away and reverby, but then also quite chunky with the guitars. It felt really strange to me. So as a teenager, I really didn't like it, you know, even though Enter Sandman is obviously like the, you know, it's like the Metallica song, isn't it, for normies, like gets played on the butt rock radio stations and digital rock and fucking planet rock and all that shit. I've really liked what they did for the anniversary of this recently, where they had all different people covering songs off this album. You could check it out on Spotify if you want. You don't have to spend a fortune on a fucking box set. You can check it out on there, and there's all these, like, you know, really mainstream artists like fucking Miley Cyrus and stuff like that, just covering Metallica songs from the Black Album. Really cool idea. But yeah, as far as the original goes, my favourites are Wolf and Man, Don't Tread on Me, fucking Unforgiven. The original one is amazing, and Sad But True. Like, Sad But True has got to be one of the best fucking songs and riffs ever, right? It's got to be. It has to be. It's a Finn McKenty video, and he keeps referring to Sad But True as American Badass. American Badass is one of the greatest riffs ever written, because Kid Rock sampled this song for his American Badass song. Because Kid Rock that's what they do. They sample it, don't they? These hip hop, people, they fucking sample shit, which is fine. But sampling American Badass and see, I'm doing it. Sampling fucking Sad But True and rapping over it was a bold move from Kid Rock. I'll give him that. Anyway, 5th place, Saint Anger. How is this so far up the list? You must think I'm trolling you, right? I used to say for a very long time that Saint Anger was my favourite Metallica record, and I was not joking. It explains to me my love for gore grind and slam and all this other horrible fucking stinky, disgusting metal, because that snare drum changed the trajectory of my life. It really did. And I'll tell you for why, because when I was a kid and I was learning the drums, my drum kit was falling apart. I paid like 100 quid for a drum kit. Like, I bought it from Porthcawl, innit? Down in Wales, right? And I'm down in, by the seaside, and I bought this terrible drum kit second-hand off this little girl. Actually, it was a little, 10-year-old girl who was a drummer, and she'd migrated to using this better kit, and I had this hand-me-down bullshit kit. I got it from the free ads, and we took it home to where I live, and we set it up, and it was falling to bits. It was fucking shit. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. The cymbals were terrible. The drums had holes in them, but I would patch it up or whatever. And when Saint Anger came out, and no joke, when Saint Anger came out, the drums sounded like fucking shit, right? Everyone knows this, but it sounded so bad. I was like, well, Metallica's drums sound terrible, so maybe it's okay if mine do too. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of the affinity that I had for it. And then I really love that trash can snare drum. I love it. I fucking love it. Unironically, love it to bits. I don't give a fuck. You think I'm lying, you think I'm joking, you think I'm trolling, just playing it up for YouTube. I'm not. Honestly, I love the fucking sound of Saint Anger. I love it. I love the songs. Again, they fall into the camp of why do they need to be so long? But the songs on here are amazing. Some of them, shoot me again. No, but some of them are genuinely really good. Got the song Sweet Amber and The Unnamed Feeling. And then the final song, All Within My Hands. Those are amazing. Those are fucking world-class fucking metal songs. Do you know what I mean? They really are really good. I like Dirty Window and My World as well, even though the lyrics are a bit more awful, really. Fuck it all, fucking no regrets. I really, really like Saint Anger. But, realistically, I can't put it at number 1, because that would be joking. When I realistically put them all into a pile and sort out the albums and think which ones are the best, it can't be Saint Anger. I would be lying to you. But I did always used to say it was my favourite. But I do really, really like it. Really, I do. Which a lot of people find quite strange. But I'm so quirky, guys. You like Saint Anger. Anyway, 4th place, Ride the Lightning. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, Ride the Lightning. Call of Cthulhu. What a fucking brilliant album. I love Ride the Lightning. Kind of heavy reverb to the sound on this. But Fight Fire with Fire. Oh my god, what a song is Fight Fire with Fire. I don't like the songs Trapped, Under Ice, and I don't like the song Escape, but I love everything else on this. My mind is drawn a blank. What's the one when it's so it shall be written, Creeping Death. My god, I think Creeping Death might even be the best Metallica song. No, it's not. It's not, but it's up there. Creeping Death, probably the second best Metallica song. You've also got For Whom the Bell Tolls on this. This thing is fucking stacked. Like I said, take out Escape and Trapped Under Ice, and you've just got banger after banger after banger. Fade to Black is on this fucking thing. Just absolute top quality, prime rib, 80s fucking thrash metal. Damn, what more can I say? In number 3, just slightly better than it, is Kill Them All. I love Kill Them All because it's so fucking rough and ready and just full of fucking energy. Just I want to go into a mosh pit, pour cider over my head and just go fucking mad when Kill Them All comes on. Hit the Lights. Motor Breath was my favourite Metallica song for a very long time, and it's not anymore, but it's still up there. I really love Cliff Burton's bass solo song on this, Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth. Brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Phantom Lord. Oh man, I'm just gushing now. But yeah, this is amazing. I've got a CD of this. I've also got a picture disc of this. And it sounds absolutely fucking terrible. But it kind of really just works. it just feels so cool to put the picture disc on. And as soon as the needle hits the picture disc, it's like, it's fucking terrible sound quality to it, because it's so old and just hasn't been looked after. And I had it as a gift, and it's just kind of been in a plastic bag, really, and I don't really play it that often. But if I listen to Kill 'Em All, I will listen to the picture disc, you know, over the CD. I also checked out the remaster not so long ago on Spotify. Again, sounds pretty good, to be honest. Bass is nice and popping in there. Love it. So yeah, great stuff. Love Kill 'Em All. Number two, Master of Puppets. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point what number one is, but Master of Puppets. Probably a lot of people's number one. I saw them play this live, I think 2006. They played the whole thing through. You know, I don't know. What can I say about Master of Puppets? Like, on a metal YouTube channel that is mainly about metal music, what can I say about Master of Puppets? Like, you know, it is apparently one of the greatest metal records of all time. Yeah, it probably is. Tracks like Battery, you know, the title track and maybe Damage Inc. are just like absolute belters. They're just unforgivingly fucking brutal, fucking thrash metal. Yes, balls to the wall. You know, war is bad and thrash metal. Of course, war is bad. They're not wrong for saying that. I think my favourite song on here has to be The Thing That Should Not Be. I love that fucking riff. Like, it is one of the dun 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 dun. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And Orion as well, the instrumental Orion, phenomenal song. Again, another like really kind of simple chuggy riff, but like the way it develops and just moves throughout the whole song is beautiful. Really good bass playing throughout this whole thing. Solid album. Really solid album. Like, I don't have to tell you to listen to Master of Puppets. Like, pretty much everybody in the entire fucking planet has heard this album at this point, I would say. So that leaves my first place pick. You know, my first place pick has got to be Injustice for All. It was the first Metallica album I ever got. So it does have that kind of nostalgia kind of feel for me. But you know, what can I say? It's got the best songs. The best Metallica song for me, Blackened, the opening track of this, is the best Metallica song, hands down. Just an absolute fucking masterpiece of a song. The bit towards, you know, the end where you come out of the middle eight back into the final chorus that closes the song, you get Kirk Hammett's like fucking mental solo. At one point he does like a whammy dive, I think, and then or maybe it's not like a war metal fucking pick slide. It's a whammy dive, I'm sure it is, and then it bends into the song, and the solo plays over the melody of the song, the vocal melody. The solo plays the vocal melody over the song as it's galloping to its conclusion, and honestly, it's like one of the best fucking things. Like, I shitted and farted when I heard that for the first time. I was like, this is fucking incredible. You know, I remember sitting behind a garage drinking cans of Carlin when I was like 13 or 14 years old, me and my mate, and we had one earphone each, listening to this on a CD Walkman, listening to this, drinking fucking cans of lager. That's how the Welsh kids in the valleys grew up. And we were just sitting there going, this is fucking incredible. How is this so fucking good? How can a band be this good? You know what I mean? And of course, in 1989 or whenever this came out, 1988 maybe, I'm not sure. It felt like so long ago from the early 2000s. We were like, how can a band be this old and sound so good? Yeah, and this was back when I was a young lad in my teenage years, and I did used to go to the gym, and I was a bit fitter than I am now. This was always my gym album, you know. Shortest Straw, you know, fucking Frayed Ends of Sanity. The title track is maybe a bit clumsy, as is To Live Is To Die. That may be a bit clumsy as well. Gives me the impression that Cliff Burton was kind of like the main guy that did those massive instrumental songs, and when they tried to create one without him, it kind of had a bit of clumsiness to it, and it was a bit more disjointed than usual. And the final song on this, Dyer's Eve, it's got to be the heaviest fucking Metallica song. Find me a Metallica song that is heavier than Dyer's Eve, because you won't. So you can't. It is yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say at this point. You know, I feel like I'm going over old ground just by doing a Metallica ranking, but like Justice for All, man, like what a fucking heavy album. And what a fantastic album. Obviously, there's the complaint about the bass, right? no shade to my man Jason Newsted. They done him dirty, but I don't even fucking care. They sound so good. I've listened to like the YouTube uploads and stuff that they do. Justice for All with Bass. And I've listened to the remaster, but I still go back to the original CD I've got. What can I say? It's one of my favourite things in the world. Anyway, that's another ranking done. Metallica albums ranked. 15 Metallica records ranked in half hour. That's not bad going, to be honest. I could have really gone off on some of these. So, I noticed my rankings do kind of float around half hour, to be honest. But there we go. Anyway, thanks for watching and for putting up my shit talking. Hope you're enjoying these kind of ranking videos. If you're not, tell me, because I'll do something else. Because there's no point in me doing it if no one's going to fucking watch them, right? What's the point? Shouting into the void, mate. That's the way it goes. Anyway, hope you're having a nice summer and the weather's better where you are, where it is where I am, because I'm either in the UK or in Corfu, and if I'm in the UK, then the weather fucking sucks, because we don't get summers here anymore. Don't know why, maybe it's global warming. Anyway, I'm not going to touch on that. I'm going to fuck off now, because I'm starting to ramble. Have a good, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for listening. Take care out there. Listen to fucking Justice for All. Ta-ra now.